Welcome to National Fisherman Live. I'm Leslie Taylor. Here's some recent fishing news from around the coasts. In 2013, U.S. fishermen landed 9.9 billion pounds of fish and shellfish, an increase of 245 million pounds from 2012, according to NOAA Fisheries' annual report on fisheries of the United States. The report, which was released in October, says U.S. landings were valued at $5.5 billion, an increase of $388 million from 2012. For the 17th consecutive year, the top fishing port nationally was Dutch Harbor, Alaska, with 753 million pounds of fish and shellfish, valued at $197 million. A U.S. biotechnology company attempting to create genetically modified salmon at a facility in Panama was fined by that country for a series of permitting and regulatory failures, according to the Guardian newspaper. The company, Aquabounty Technologies, currently has an application with the U.S. government to sell genetically modified salmon fillets in this country. Companies worldwide are watching the U.S. regulators' response to the application as a possible bellwether for genetically modified meat products worldwide. If the U.S. application is approved, Aquabounty's salmon fillets would be the first genetically modified meat sold for human consumption anywhere in the world. The Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council has passed Reef Fish Amendment 40, a rule that will divide the annual recreational red snapper quota in federal waters between private anglers and for-hire charter boat operators, according to the Associated Press. Currently, the 11 million pound total allowable catch of red snapper is allocated 51% for commercial fishermen and 49% for recreational fishermen. The controversial plan could set aside as much as 47% of the annual recreational red snapper take for charter boat operators. Proponents of the decision say that splitting the annual recreational allotment into two separate components, charter operators and private fishermen, will allow the managers the flexibility to make rules tailored to the demands of each sector. Splitting the allotment may also reduce the likelihood for recreational quota overruns, since it is easier to accurately track for-hire catches than those of private recreational fishermen. Opponents of the rule say it's unfair to designate a public resource for the use of a private, for-profit enterprise, and they are unhappy that the move is likely to reduce the 9-day red snapper season that federal fisheries managers allowed this year. The Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission has voted to reduce the 2015 allotment of American eel landings by more than 2,000 pounds, according to the Portland Press-Herald. The statewide elver quota for next year will be 9,688 pounds, Jeff Nichols, spokesman for the Maine Department of Marine Resources, told the newspaper. In 2013, Maine elver fishermen earned $32.9 million in revenue, making elvers the second most valuable commercial fishery in Maine, after lobster. And in Massachusetts, the first offshore shellfish aquaculture permit on the East Coast has been granted to commercial fisherman Dominic Santoro to develop a mussel farm in Nantucket Sound, adjacent to the area where plans are underway to build a 130-turbine wind farm, according to the Cape Cod Times. While mussel farms exist in the United States, there are none beyond the 3-mile limit of state waters. Another permit has already been awarded for an aquaculture farm in federal waters off the West Coast, but that project hasn't yet been installed. For more commercial fishing news and analysis, subscribe to National Fisherman Magazine, visit our website at www.nationalfisherman.com, or subscribe to our twice-weekly e-newsletter. For National Fisherman Live, I'm Leslie Taylor.